go 1, 2, and we're off.
It's the Punchline podcast, baby. This is the first episode. I am Muhsin Yesilada. I am a stand-up comedian. Next to me, I have Farhan Solo. He's also a stand-up comedian. Yeah. Farhan, say hello.
Hello. Yeah, we're trying. We're trying to be stand-up comedians. Yeah,
we're trying.
Yeah.
It's going well. This podcast is all about the world of MMA.
Yeah.
Now, you may be wondering, why are you guys qualified to talk about MMA?
I don't think we are.
We're not. We are not.
But we're big fanboys. I've been a fan for over 13 years.
Yes. He's brought his sex toys to prove it.
Yep.
As you can see. As you can see. For those of you who are audio only, we have little figurines of, who do we have? Go on, Rampage Jackson,
Wanderlei Silva, Cain Velasquez, Chuck Liddell, GSP, Tito Ortiz, and then we have Chuck and Wanderlei, but it's signed by Wanderlei Silva.
Yeah.
It's actually signed. So.
I was saying to someone who was in here earlier, but these figurines just look like little old racist men.
Yeah.
Look at them. Look at him. I'm going to show the camera. Tell me that doesn't look like the leader of the EDL. You'd see him at your local march, innit?
Also, new fans will not know who these guys are. They're like, where's Khabib, bro? Where's Conor McGregor? Like,
exactly.
These are like from when I was a kid. So
I'll be honest, it's a little bit of an icky statement, yeah. I've always been interested in MMA and I'd watch the big fights.
Yeah.
But I only really got involved McGregor times 2015.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit icky, innit?
It is a little bit, but I got involved because of Brock Lesnar, so it's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I feel like that's more socially acceptable, though.
Yeah.
WWE
fan to UFC fan, but...
I must say, I was a big McGregor fan, but when shit hit the fan, I kind of fell off.
Yeah.
I kind of fell off. When they started talking about Islam and stuff, it really put me off.
I'm still a McGregor fanboy, you know. There's a little bit of hope there that he will still come back and win something versus someone. Just give him someone shit. Like, why'd you have to give him...
Yeah.
Don't give him Islam Makhachev. Don't give him...
No.
Just give him...
Give him another cowboy-style fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there comes a point in fighters' careers, where you should just let them fight other legends who are on their way down. Yeah. I don't need to see Tony Ferguson fight someone like Chimaev or Nate
Tony
Diaz
and Conor would have been a good fight.
Brilliant fights. Yeah. Two old men scrapping it out. And that's what, just because then the skill level isn't what it used to be, as long as it's competitive. Like watching two boxers, like celebrity boxing and stuff, right? Or celebrity MMA, right? Just because the skill level isn't high doesn't mean it can't be entertaining as long as it's an equal fight.
It's still entertaining because, it's still the star power and everything. But yeah, Conor is just like, is he still hungry? Like he's getting blowjobs on a yacht on the beach. So like,
and none of them by his wife. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, Conor McGregor's never.
Sorry, D.
It's an ironic name, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Well, with this podcast is 5 minutes old.
Yeah.
And now we know Conor McGregor's never coming on this podcast.
Nah, well.
I don't even know what to say to him.
I don't know.
I'll just be like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, why you racist, bro? No, I'm joking.
You know when Conor McGregor threw the dolly through the bus window, right? You know what gets me about that whole situation? What? He took a private jet there, which means he had 8 hours on a plane to calm down.
Yeah.
And he still didn't calm down. He's just on the plane like, I'm going to get him.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him.
That was probably a coke-fueled trip. He was with like 30 other Irish dudes. They're just let's just...
So someone was saying they want to see Chimaev versus McGregor.
Oh, man.
I don't want to see that.
That would be
manslaughter.
Sanctioned murder, yeah.
Give me him, brother. I kill all Irish people, brother.
He apparently flew to Ireland just because Conor said something bad about Khabib. He just flew there and he's like, Hamza.
Really?
Yeah, like before he was in the UFC. He flew there just because he like said bad things about Khabib.
What is this SBG bullshit, brother?
Yeah, exactly.
I go there, I smash everybody, brother. What is this hack?
But that feeds into this weekend,
UFC 280. This is probably the best fight, the headliner, I would say, for the last year and a half. Easy.
I think so. I think it's the best card of the year. First of all,
easy.
Best card of the year.
Easy.
Stylistically, it's one of the best fights in recent history. It's like most exciting, like the skill level is just like, I would say the last fight that got me disinterested was probably like Usman versus Kobe 1. That was probably the last one. But this one is like, I still don't know who's gonna win. Like, I have no idea. Like, and also the rest of the card is just so stacked. Like,
I've heard some people say, "Oh, this is BJJ versus Sambo," but I think that's way too simplistic.
yeah, it's very. I think it's it's disrespectful to just say that because Charles is striking is next level. His clinch work, his knees in the Muay Thai. Islam Makhachev, he's not just a smash guy.
Yeah.
He has the smash ability.
He has more finesse than Khabib did.
Yeah, people will say like, he's in Khabib's shadow, but actually, even Javier Mendez, his coach, will say that Islam's, he's more well-rounded. Like, he's got striking, he's got grappling, he's got everything. Like, it's an interesting fight, that's what I'll say.
I personally think what makes this fight interesting is because it's the first time in years Oliveira's not going to be able to take those respites on the ground.
Yeah.
Because if you saw in his last few fights, if he didn't like how he was going, he'll just drop to his back.
Yep.
And people say, no, he actually dropped. There's a few, I watched the Gaethje fight in slow motion, right?
Yeah.
And after he'd get punched, if you watch it in slow motion, you can really see him decide to drop rather than just dropping immediately.
A lot of, BJJ guys will do that. They'll stay on the ground to goad someone into their guard. But, you can't do that against these Dagestani guys.
He will follow you there.
Yeah, he'll follow you.
You're not going to get a respite.
And especially if it's up against a cage, he's just going to get smashed. Like,
I think one thing that's going to be huge about this fight is that Dagestani mentality and the arrogance that those guys have to not fear anyone. Because Oliveira in his last few fights has been the bogeyman. He's in his opponent's mind because of the skill set and the jiu-jitsu. Whereas these Dagestani boys genuinely see Oliveira as a formality. You listen to them talk on Anatomy of a Fighter.
Yeah.
By the way, if you've never seen Anatomy of a Fighter, great platform.
Will Harris.
Yeah,
it's great.
amazing platform. They genuinely see everyone in that division as just a formality.
They basically, some people will say, the negative people on the Islam Makhachev side will say that he's only got this because of the hype that Khabib's team has built, that he hasn't beat anyone in the top 10 or 15. But, style-wise, it does look like, he might pull this off. And, if you look at the stats, he's absorbed 0.84 strikes per minute. That's insane. Whereas Charles has absorbed 3.18 per minute. Charles gets hit, and Islam's actually quite a good striker, and I feel like people are doubting his striking ability, especially kicking-wise. Kicking-wise, if he lands to the head, if he lands to the body,
Why those kicks are so effective on Makhachev is because when people fight these Dagestani boys, right, they naturally come with a lower guard because they want to brace themselves for wrestling actions, which leaves open head kicks. Yeah. Because people are literally coming. I remember Kevin Lee, I think it was Kevin Lee, when he fought, wasn't a Dagestani guy. What was his name that he head kicked him?
Oh, Greg Gillespie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He came out with literally wrestling positioning with his hands. And you see people doing that against Makhachev and people like Khabib all the time. And that's what opens up the door for those head kicks. I personally see Oliveira being taken down early because he's going to want to come forward as he does. But I think he'll welcome being taken down because I think they both back each other's ground games against each other.
Yeah, I think Charles's last few fights, his last 3 fights, it's mostly been striking. It's mostly been striking, just guys throwing wildly at each other. He got dropped in the last 3, right? Chandler, Poirier, Gaethje. He got dropped, and then I think he knocked out Chandler. He submitted Poirier. He submitted Gaethje. Islam, I think the fight will probably be standing at first, but then at some point, I have a feeling Charles might get dropped. Because he's been dropped so much. I know Islam's not, a decorated striker like those 3 guys, but I feel like Charles, there's something about him, he keeps getting dropped. He's getting a bit older now. I don't know. Will the chin hold up in this one? And if he gets dropped, Islam might fall into that guard and, either way, something could happen. Maybe Islam will just, continue ground and pound, or Charles might, sync up a submission. Because Charles is dangerous off his back, so
just for those people who don't know much about MMA, what's ground and pound? Because that sounds quite sexual to me.
Ground and
It's
pound.
very sexy.
Yeah.
We should try it later.
ground and pound.
Maybe not.
Even if I try and describe it, it will still sound sexual.
Yeah,
So you're on top of someone and you're just like pounding into them.
Two sweaty men follow each other to the ground. One wraps his legs around the other so he can't move, preferably holding one arm to the ground to submit him, right? To submit him to his dominance.
Okay.
And then use his other hand to either choke him or to slap him or punch him repeatedly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
First person to make the noise, "Hi, yeah," loses.
Or you just tap on their arms.
You just tap on their arms.
Okay, so what's your prediction, man?
I think if Makhachev is going to win, it's going to be through a war of attrition.
You think?
I believe that Oliveira, if he does have a weakness to its game, is, and we haven't seen it in recent years because he's been so dominant, is that when it does go later rounds, because he's so pressure heavy and he's so active, he tires. I don't see Makhachev tiring. It's just not in their nature to tire or to
He's not
slow
going to
down.
get tired. He's not going to get tired. I think, pick-wise, it's hard to choose because it's a tough fight. Also, Islam isn't proven, in the top 10. He's not. But I feel like if he faced, Charles's last 3 wins were amazing. But I feel like Islam would destroy those guys too. I feel like Islam would, he would handle Poirier, he would handle Gaethje, he would handle Chandler. So I feel like, you can't just give the guy the wins, but I feel like he would win. I feel like if he was to be champ, he would defend against those guys pretty easily. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Islam versus Charles, and I think he would. Charles has a breaking point. He's broken a few times, I know it's a long time ago. It's 11, 12 fights ago. But Paul Felder beat the shit out of him. Other guys have stopped him. He breaks. And I feel like a Dagestani, if they smell a little bit of blood, they'll find that breaking point. I feel like Islam will probably ground and pound him, in the 4th round. You love that word, don't you? I feel like he'll pull it off in the 4th round. Sexually. Yeah.
Do you see a scenario where we get a Usman Covington 1 where they just stay standing?
Ooh, that's a good
Could
point.
you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine? And if it does stay standing, who then wins?
Look, I think Islam's striking's underrated. I feel like Islam could probably, I feel like he could hold his own. But Charles, the thing about Charles is he'll probably get dropped. But when he gets that clinch, and he starts throwing those knees, if you see the fight versus Dustin, there's a point where he knees him so hard to the body, Dustin, his whole body language changes. He is pretty much done at that point. And then, the rest of the fight went how it went. But I feel like if it's standing, for a long period of time, I feel like Islam could, outpoint him to a decision. But
do you know what? Yeah,
you never know.
I was just thinking to myself, if I had to fight one or the other, I would much rather fight Islam Makhachev than Oliveira.
Really? Why?
Because I feel like it's the difference between fighting a bear versus a lion.
Okay.
The bear plays with its food, whereas the lion will kill you immediately.
Yeah.
Oliveira, he'll just choke you. No, Makhachev will just choke you out. Charles will grind you, play with you, change positions, knee you, kick you. It's fighting. I was watching him against.
Does that still sound sexual, Roman? Change positions.
It was. I can't deny I was getting a little bit hard over here.
I'm sorry.
You guys better. Oh.
I'm sorry. I have to sit with my legs crossed as well. It is very sexual, MMA, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
Yeah.
He'll play with you. He'll grind you. He'll pound you.
Have you ever put a
It
gun
doesn't
in
read well as a transcript, does it?
No.
Have you ever put someone in a triangle?
During sexy time?
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've done it. And then I scream, dab, 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 dab. Anyway, she's passed away now, so all right, she didn't tap. But but yeah, in terms of who would I rather fight, I'd much rather fight Islam. I was watching Charles versus Gaethje in slow motion, right? Because I wanted to because it was a whirlwind of a fight.
Yeah.
And Justin Gaethje is known for his mental toughness and his pressure. Bro, Charles said, "Oh yeah, you got some pressure. Okay, try this," and just stuck it on him and didn't let go. Gets punched in the face. Fine. Just keeps walking forward like a zombie.
Yeah. Gaethje, he looked good for a little bit, and then he just got knocked out choked out. That's the worst way to lose. You get dropped and then you get choked out.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like...
It's like you lost twice in a way.
You lost twice.
Yeah.
He lost twice. Gaethje, unfortunately, he lost to Khabib twice too. He got submitted twice. But Gaethje's good. It's just like, first guys with good ground game, you know, can't do anything about it. But I think, like, Charles, that's another thing about him. As soon as he rocks someone, he jumps on that submission.
Yeah.
Like, he will follow up with a guillotine or rear naked choke, but... I'll go as far as to say is that, because, you know, people will say that this is like the Tony versus Khabib that never happened. I'll say that this is actually, stylistically, it's probably a better fight.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a better fight.
I think it's more competitive as well.
I think it's more competitive, better fight. Obviously, they don't have the star power of those two guys, but, you know.
I feel like Tony versus Khabib, Tony would have made a lot of mistakes that would have been costly.
Yeah. Yeah, as we see
back,
now, Tony probably wouldn't have fared well. But I feel like Charles has something Tony didn't. Because Charles is, you know, I think BJJ's better. His striking's more devastating, you know. Like, the way he throws stuff is just like... You can see, like, the damage in real time.
Yeah.
You can see people wincing. Like, you could see, like, Dustin just, like... Honestly, his body language has changed. And
these are all mentally tough people.
Yeah.
Who wilt
in
front of him because of the pressure in the jiu-jitsu. I think it's also... Because his jiu-jitsu is so advanced, Charles' jiu-jitsu is so advanced, he's constantly making his opponents think, which is mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
In boxing, Tony Bellew said something similar about Alexander Usyk. It's not so much the forward pressure, it's the mental pressure, because he's giving you so many different looks and things you have to worry about.
And also, he's a zombie. So, like, if you knock him down, you're like, I hit him hard. Why is he not knocked out?
And his eyes haven't rolled back. He's just staring at you saying,
back
come
stronger.
down to hell.
He comes back stronger.
Yeah.
After he's hurt, he's always stronger.
Yeah.
The last 3 fights, he's been hurt every time. And he's actually, you know, he looks better as he gets knocked down. But
when he's on his back and he's inviting his opponent into his guard, right? You could see on their opponent's face, they are seeing the end of the fight if they go in there. It's like, yes, come in. You see this little thing with my legs? Come. You'll be in triangle in no time.
Friend, do you think Islam Makhachev, obviously, you know, he's a great fighter, but he's never had a big main event spot like this.
No.
Now it's in Abu Dhabi. It's in front of all of his, you know, it's all the Muslim fans. It's in front of, you know, Khabib, his coaches. Hasbullah's going to be there. You know, they're all going to be there. Like, do you think that moment might get to him?
No,
you think
no.
They'll eat that shit.
He's been on the World Championship apprenticeship course for the last 8 years.
That's a good point.
Yeah. he's been under Khabib's internship. For this moment.
That's true. Yeah.
I do feel like there must be a certain level of pressure knowing that Khabib and the rest of the family have invested so much into you.
Yeah.
That must be in it, but I do feel like he's well prepared for it. And I don't genuinely think we're thinking it with a Western point of view.
Yeah.
I don't think they think like that.
Nah, they believe that everything happens like
it's destiny.
God, It's like it's all about what.
I fight, brother, inshallah. You know?
Yeah.
Inshallah, I kill everybody, brother.
Inshallah, I win.
Inshallah, I smash everybody, brother. I kill everybody. Allahu Akbar.
That's a good Hamza impression, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ask me who's gonna win this weekend, and I'll give you Hamzat Chimaeva's prediction.
Okay, who's gonna win this weekend, man?
It doesn't matter, brother. I kill both of those guys, brother. They're nothing.
That's another thing. Hamza, Khabib, they're huge stars.
Yeah.
Do you think Islam has that same path? Like, do you think he will be? Because, you know, I think they're all gonna be big in, like, you know, Abu Dhabi and whatever, and, like, you know, those countries, Arab countries. But do you think Islam Makhachev will be a big pay-per-view star if he wins in, like, the US?
There's two ways of becoming a pay-per-view star, in my opinion. Either through sheer dominance,
like
GSP or Usman, or by sheer entertainment value, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor at one point had both.
Makhachev will take the GSP route,
and the sheer dominance route. Habib initially had we thought it was going to be dominant, but then he kind of became entertaining with his nonchalant.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first interviews I saw with Habib. Ariel Hawani asked him if he was sad about missing the birth of his daughter for a fight. And Habib goes, "Why I sad? Baby with mother, I say, mashallah. Why I sad? What can I do by being there? You know? Why I sad? This is such crazy question."
It's like Ariel asked the most stupid questions. Hopefully Ariel will come on the show one day, but Ariel will always ask
We
like
just
the
lost
most
Ariel
stupid
as well,
questions. Yeah,
for
we
God's
lost
sake.
Ariel. We lost Connor, Ariel.
This podcast is a disaster, man.
I think Hamza will still do it though. Hamza. But
I like your podcast.
okay, so the
Put
odds,
me on the screen, brother.
the odds are saying, Islam, he's a slight favorite. He's he's minus 175 favorite. Like, do you get American odds? I don't get American odds, but I sounded like I thought I would know. But I just know that minus means he's a favorite.
Yeah.
He's
and
the favorite.
larger the number. Yeah.
So he's a favorite, and it's quite close. It's close. It looks like it could go either way, but Islam is the favorite. Do you think that's disrespectful to Charles?
I don't think it's disrespectful. Because you can understand where that's coming
Like,
from.
how much do you... I feel like the last 3 fights, I thought Charles was going to lose. Like, I thought he'd beat Dustin, but I thought Gaethje might knock him out. And I did think, Chandler could have gone either way. But how much are we going to keep doubting Charles? Like, every time people doubt him. Like,
There is a vibe that we're just like waiting for this fun run to end.
I know.
Because it felt so like no one...
Out of nowhere.
When Habib retired, very few people thought that Charles was going to be the champ.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was either going to be Dustin
Or like Conor would win somehow.
or Conor or
Yeah,
Gaethje.
Yeah.
They were the... And then Charles was like, yeah.
I feel like it started when he beat Kevin Lee. When he
Yeah.
beat Kevin Lee, people were like, oh shit, you beat Kevin Lee. And then he obviously he beat Tony after Tony got, destroyed by Justin. But still, the way he handled Tony, and then, I think he had the vacant shot against Chandler, and then obviously Dustin, and then, there was Justin. And then, it's, now it's like people still doubting him, but you can never count the guy out, man.
No, you can't.
What's your final prediction?
I'm saying... You can say never count. I've just said we can never count now, but I'm going to say Islam later rounds.
I think Islam, fourth round.
Yeah, attrition.
Stoppage, like ground and pound. Yeah.
Fatigue's gonna kick in.
No.
Let's move on to the other 2 fights quickly. Touch on them.
Okay.
So the co-main event, we have Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. In your head, how do you see that going?
First of all, I feel like these are like 2 of the most unlikable guys.
It
this is a battle for the most unlikable.
It's like Donald Trump versus Joe Biden.
Pretty
Both
much.
pricks.
Aljamain, obviously, he got a bit more respect because he beat Peter Yan, fair and square this time. But the first time, he's doing the whole act out, the Oscar shit. Obviously, TJ, he was likable. First of all, like, he was likable when he knocked out Cody Garbrandt. Like, when he screamed in his face, I feel like he got a lot of fans. That was like one of the most devastating moments. You knocked the guy out and then you scream
in his face. Yeah.
That basically ruined Cody's whole career after that. Like,
I mean, yeah, mentally.
he's never been the
and
same.
Chin wise. Yeah.
That just. So after that, obviously, he got popped for like PEDs
EPO.
and EPO. So obviously, his likability took a hit, but it's a good fight. They're unlikable, but I think stylistically, people will definitely be interested. Like, I don't know. I feel like Aljamain's obviously the better grappler. Aljamain's the better grappler, but stats-wise, TJ Dillashaw, his takedown defense is really good. Like, he barely gets taken down.
Has he fought a wrestler as good as Aljamain Sterling? Let's go through his last few fights. Read them to me if you can.
Yeah, so he fought Corey. He's obviously not a wrestler. Henry Cejudo's a wrestler, but he was at 125,
And he got banged.
he got knocked out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Cody, obviously, Cody's a decent wrestler, but he doesn't barely wrestle.
No.
He knocked him out. John Lineker, he beat by unanimous decision. Rafael Assunção decision. Dominic Cruz, not great. He hasn't really fought a wrestler. Like,
Not in recent time, anyway.
not in recent time.
Yeah.
Maybe back in the day.
Aljo is very good at putting it all together
Yeah.
and staying on his guy. If someone told me 3-4 years ago, Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw,
He got knocked out by Marlon Moraes, so like I wrote him off.
I wrote him off as
Yeah.
well. I wrote him off as a fun guy. He's got some good kicks, good wrestling, but he's really put it together. He really surprised me versus Peter Yan. Really, in the second fight.
The way he just, that's the thing. If he gets your back, he doesn't need to submit you. He could just hold you there.
Yeah, God help you.
And TJ Dillashaw, I feel like his takedown defense is good, but I feel like once he gets to the ground, like once Aljo has him on the ground, I don't know how long TJ could survive. But TJ's a dog though. Like, TJ scraps.
The thing with
Like-
TJ, if it goes to a decision, he's got a judge-friendly style.
Yeah.
Because it's active, It's assured.
Yeah.
There's a confidence to his movement.
Yeah, some people thought Corey won that fight, but something about the way TJ fights,
It's
him the win.
It's front-footed. It's engaging. He'll throw when the other person throws, and he's constantly thinking about getting his opponent back. So if his opponent lands something, his first instinct is to get it back.
Yeah,
because
he's competitive as fuck.
He's very competitive.
He's
like the judges like.
Like if he was like 6'2", he would be like the high school bully. That's basically what he is.
Yes, he's an arsehole.
He's a dickhead.
Did you see that clip of him tripping over his taking his sparring partner and then tripping him over again?
And he ruined that kid's career, Chris Holdsworth.
Yeah.
He
has a very much an arsehole vibe to him.
Yeah,
by the way, I definitely believe that he was taking EPO.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That doesn't just get into your system.
Did he deny it? I don't know.
Did he deny it?
I don't know. I don't think he did. I think he was like, yeah, I did it. And then he made a smoothie a van
Called EPO.
Called no, it's called Clean Juice.
I kind of respect that in a weird way.
Double down on that shit. But yeah, like if you look at Aljo's record, it's actually like it's insane. Like he only got knocked out by Marlon Moraes, but apart from that, 2 split decision losses. So like he's only really lost one time, and that's Marlon. And like his loss, obviously he beat Peter Yan twice, won by DQ. The way he destroyed Corey, like Corey's good.
Yeah, Corey's very good.
He just in 1 minute 28, he got a rear naked choke on him.
I think Aljo has a lot of size compared to TJ as well.
Yeah.
And in terms of strength, like Aljo's built like a god.
Yeah.
Like he has an incredible physique. I know what the producer Roman is thinking. This is getting sexual.
Rear naked choke. Did you?
Oh, I heard Farhan say rear naked joke, and then he looked at the camera and smiled.
I was thinking you were saying something.
I was like, I'm trying to keep your podcast professional. I don't want to
naked joke.
I think we're past professional now. This is just banter. But how do you see the fight going?
I think Aljo's going to win.
I think
he's going to butt fuck him. I think he's going to butt fuck him against the cage.
That's some more people you're never going to get on your podcast.
Yeah.
We've already alienated the whole UFC roster within 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think Aljo... I actually want TJ to win because it's good to see, a comeback story. But I think Aljo will win. I feel like, he'll probably get submission later rounds.
Yeah.
3rd round, 4th round, something like that.
Yeah. Right. We're short on time, so let's move on.
Okay.
To
the biggest fight of the card.
The biggest fight of the card. It actually is because of who's on it. We've got Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan. Yeah. I personally think, right, I love Sugar Sean. I like what he stands for. I like his style. I think he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
But I think if he pulls off that Pedro Munoz thing where he's just like trying to throw a couple of leg kicks per round and hoping to nick it, it's not going to work for him. Also, one thing that is an advantage for Sean, if he capitalizes on it, Peter Yan is known for being a slow starter, and this is 3 rounds, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? You nick those first 2 rounds, Sean, and then do whatever you need to do in the 3rd, and you can play, and you will become an international superstar overnight. Not that he already isn't, but if he beats Yan and then gets a title shot, he's off to the races. He'll get that pay-per-view money.
It's a weird fight, right? Because normally UFC won't push a guy. Like if you look at his his opponents, it was like slow build up. It was Eddie Wineland. Obviously Marlon Vera was a bit of a test, but Marlon Vera is a lot better now. Thomas Almeida, Chris Martino, Paiva, and then Pedro. Like Pedro's step up, but he didn't actually win. But then they're just gonna shoot you to like the number 1 or number 2 contender, Peter Yan. Like you never really see this. So I feel like the UFC knows something. Like they know what they're doing, or it might just be like this is a do or die moment. He's either the star or he's not the star. I don't know. Like I feel like
it is unusual.
I feel like they've done this a few times. I can't remember which ones, but like I feel like it's either do or die, or it's like they know that within 3 rounds he can get it done. Because you're right, Peter Yan is slow at starting, and if he does get those first 2, the 3rd one But Peter Yan, like, when he turns it on, he turns it on. So, like, even if that is the case in the 3rd round, Peter Yan, like, if he lost the first 2, in the 3rd, he's going to be on it. Like, he's going to, like, he's going to put that pressure on. Leg kicks, boxing. I don't know. Also, that's the other thing, Sean's legs. What do you think about that? Like, do you think that's a factor? Or do you think that was just a freak accident that one time?
I mean, if he's got any sense about him, he's been doing leg day every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do like his Chael Sonnen angle
Yeah.
to that loss. I've never lost.
I've never lost. Yeah.
I've never lost. If you keep saying it, the crazy thing about, like, this is coming back from my PhD background, right? But the crazy thing about misinformation is if you keep saying it, people start believing it.
Yeah.
Never
Mentally
lost.
undefeated.
Yeah, never
Do you know
lost.
what? Like, I forget. Like, a lot of people still think he's unbeaten. Like, it's true.
Yeah, because he keeps saying it.
Because it's like that win
It's
for
very
Marlon.
clever, yeah.
Like, Marlon's a great fighter. Marlon's probably going to get the next title shot at some point. But like, people, like, I don't even think he really considers it a win. Like, like the mental thing works so much that even Marlon's like, I might need to fight him again to like.
Marlon only gets the next title shot
Yeah.
if Peter wins.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
There's two. Chell made a good point about this. There's two good options for Marlon here, right? Two decent options. Either Peter wins and he goes straight for the title shot next,
Yeah.
or Sean wins,
Yeah.
right? Fights for the title. Sean wins the title, and then he can be ringside saying, "Hey man, I'm the guy who beat you. Remember me?
Yeah.
I'm the uncrowned king. Give me the belt." And they have a big pay-per-view fight.
Yeah. I love when that happens, when there's like two fighters that fight early on and then they rise to the top. Like it's
Leon and Usman.
Yeah, Leon Usman,
Yeah.
Gray Maynard, Frankie Edgar, like it's happened. Like, you know.
Poirier and McGregor to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Could have been with what would have been they could still book this, just hang on, quick, let's do our prediction before we
What's
I'm gonna say my head is saying Yan, my heart is saying O'Malley.
Yeah,
I can't decide.
like I kind of want O'Malley to win, but I kind of want him to lose at the same time because I want him to win because I want another star. Like I want to see the UFC get their star, get their guy. But at the same time, he's a bit of a he looks like a bit of a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, he looks a bit flimsy. Like, do you think like I don't know? Like he looks a bit flimsy. Like he looks like if you kick his legs, like if like Yan proper like puts that pressure on his legs, I don't know if he can stand. And like if he fought like Jose Aldo, like Aldo would kick the fuck out of his legs.
Yeah.
Actually, Aldo don't even kick anymore. So
Aldo's retired, doesn't he?
Aldo, he did retire. Yeah,
he's out of the game.
So my prediction is, I feel like I'll give Sean the benefit of the doubt and think he'll go to decision and he won't get knocked out. I don't think he'll get knocked out. Do you think he'll get knocked out? I feel like he might get stopped.
I don't see a world where I don't see either of them getting stopped.
Yeah, I feel a decision.
I think it'll be highly technical.
Yeah, I think it'll be a decision. And I don't know. Either way on decision, I think maybe Yan by decision. Who knows? Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Tune in next week where we'll be covering all the results, baby. This was the first episode of the Punchline podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, give my mum a gift basket, send it to her house, tell your dad you love her. Thank you for listening.
Thanks to our producer Roman as well.
Yes, yes, Roman.
Anytime, fellas. Anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Lovely stuff, guys.
That was good, man.
That was a good podcast.
Yeah. I feel like we're just like getting into it.